the strangest dreams take me places I've not been. Something's keeping me awake, coiled over like a snake, builds a whisper to a scream as the sun goes down on me. All these arrows in my heart break the mirror in half. Never enough, never enough. No, I know it's never enough, never enough. No, I know it's never enough, never enough. No, I know it's never enough.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us on this very special episode of Black Mountain Paranormal Society. Tonight we'll be joined by Mr. James Hibbits, the author of Secret of Graveyard Hill. We'll be joining him tonight on his journey to find out answers surrounding his mother's death from over 40 years ago.
We're here in Burdock, Kentucky. Now we've chose this house to investigate. It was one of James's decisions, also his cousin Ronna. This is a family house. This is co-camp housing. And we're pretty interested in what we're going to get. We already sent in our two sensitives, and they've already picked up on some stuff. Let's find out what they've picked up on.
This is our one of our sensitive, Josh. He's going to be doing a walkthrough, getting a feel for the place before we set our cameras up and everything.
So I picked up something here and downstairs with the blue bed. That's what I picked up so far.
Okay.
One I feel like I've been here before. I feel like I've been in this house. I'm getting a really bad deja vu.
Josh has concluded his walkthrough. This time we're going to go back outside, and Barbara's going to do a walkthrough to see if she picks anything up.
Hey guys, we're here with Ronna, James, Josh, and Barbara. We're sitting down to have a little chat to see what they picked up on while they was inside the house. And we'll also talk to James and Ronna about their own experiences as well.
When I first entered the house, I was drawn to the room with the blue bedspread. I felt like she ended up staying there. After she got older and couldn't make it up the steps and all that, she stayed there. And then going upstairs, I felt like the room with the patchwork quilt, that was her original bedroom. And then the other one with the vanity, like she spent a lot of time in that room around that. And both Barbara and I agree we had similar encounters to that effect.
I picked up on that she looks out that window up there where the patchwork quilt room is, and that she walks around up there and she's in that room. Matter of fact, when I was outside of the house, I just felt a presence up there. And Josh and I both, when we went up, felt the same thing, and also in what we consider the blue room, with the blue bedroom, where maybe she was up there and then maybe got sick or something and was brought down here, but that was her bedroom and that she was down here. So I think that's where we felt the strongest. And that she's all over the place though, but that was the room. And I felt that maybe there was a man here that had died, but not necessarily in the house, but he was connected to the house.
Well, she did put her bedroom in there because that used to be the living room. I grew up here, and that was the living room, but yeah, her bedroom was upstairs.
Well, I've been 2 years in this process, Holly, and I feel like my mom's leading me on a trail of breadcrumbs. And probably about 3 weeks ago, we were in the cemetery taking night shots of her headstone and stuff. And last week, Ronna posted some family pictures, which Ronna and I hadn't talked in a little while. And it kind of led to the conversation about you guys, which has kind of brought us all together here tonight.
Right.
So, for me, I think that this is just my trail of breadcrumbs.
And like as far as surrounding your mom's death, would you want to talk about that?
There are some things that I wouldn't care to share.
Okay.
You know, especially like with Ronna. And you know, the thing about being 5 years old when your mom dies and watching her have a heart attack is traumatic.
Right.
You know, I thought she was foaming at the mouth. And you know, through my research for the book, heart attack victims can do what they call frothing. And I think she was throwing up. But from a 5-year-old child standpoint, it looked like she was foaming at the mouth. I remember vivid things about the time span when she was having a heart attack. After that, I can't remember the funeral. Ron and I started talking about things, and you know, there's things, Ron, I can't remember. So I think it's just traumatic, and of course, during that period of time, you know, there were other things happening, and you know, it was just a bad time for my whole family, and I feel like my mom, 40 years later, wants her story to be told, and it's like I can't shut off, I can't stop, I can't. It's like she drives me. I did an interview with Rick Kyle here in Letcher County about a year and a half ago, and we started pulling stuff out of his purse. First of all, when I hit the top of the Kentucky mountain, she's all over the car, and I was just shaking like a leaf. And when I got down there to talk to Rick on it, I pulled the stuff out of the purse, and we looked at it, and when we got on camera, I started pulling it out again. Well, there's 2 scars in that purse. And he said, I can smell those scars. And I said, what? He said, I couldn't smell those scars before we went on camera. So for me, this is a journey. You know, I feel like my mom wants her story to be told, and I feel like that she is guiding me. So this is a process for me, and I feel like, you know, from what you guys are saying, I think she's in this house.
Okay, we've come upstairs with James, Josh, and Barbara to see if they can get a little feel off of the purse. There's just a lot of people downstairs, and they can work very well, and there's a lot of people around.
I do have a question though. Did your mom or her granny wear like vanilla, or a big fan of vanilla candles?
That would be a question as far as for Ron's granny. Okay. That would be a question for her. You know, but my mom died when I was 5. Guys, this is the brush. There's still hair in that brush. So at some point during this process, I'm going to have some forensic testing done on the brush, on the hair.
You think she was poisoned, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, her family.
Yeah.
Thought she was poisoned.
Yeah. Who's the man? Who's the man that was in this house?
Now that was Rhonda's grandfather.
Okay.
Yeah. So, sorry, it's not.
It's okay. It's your journey, James.
Yeah.
I just felt like I just picked up from you that you felt she was poisoned.
Yeah. Now, it wasn't in this house. The house I grew up in was in Wives.
Well, I wasn't picking up in the house. I was picking up.
But you was picking up
from you.
Yeah, Rhonda's grandfather was like, my dad was in the service, and I think the last 5 years of their marriage wasn't good. She had her first heart attack in '68. I was born in '66. She had her first heart attack in '68, and she died in November '71. So, yeah, I don't think the last 5 years of her life was real good.
Okay, as we were going through James's mother's purse, we picked up on the scarf and the brush holding the most residual energy. Barbara also picked up on her being a cougher and how she would turn her head to cough to the right. And we feel that she had the brush for a really long time. She used it to deal with stress. She would sit there to try to calm herself. Picked up on the feeling that she may have had stomach ulcers or some kind of nervousness in her stomach most of the time. Just almost, for me, it felt almost like a dread, like worry a lot.
Did Emery ever tell you that the conversation, things with my mom, that she said that my mom confided in her and there was things that she would go to her grave with? Yeah.
And she also told me that the week that your mom passed away, that she had talked to her, like, say, on a Monday, and she said, I want you to come over because I have some things that I have to tell you.
Yeah.
And she died before she got to do that. She
She
died
on
like
the
3
week-
days
She
later.
died on Saturday.
Well,
So
that's
she
what
didn't
I'm
make it
saying.
to the weekend.
Right. So, I don't know.
Yeah. It's just the things that's happening to me, Ron, and still happening, is unbelievable. You know, the what I'm feeling, what happens, and it's when I get still and focused, like coming back from Pennington from work the other afternoon. I just got, you know, of course, when you're in, you know, when you're driving and you're working and your mind's going 50 different directions every once in a while. You remember that show Raven that used to be on? You remember how when Raven's eye would focus right? That happens to me. It's like it's a dead focus. It's like I can feel it. I mean, it's the oddest, wildest thing I've ever seen in my life. But I can feel her. It's like I could shake, and it's like all the pain and all the emotion and all the excitement in one whack, and the tears just come flowing.
Well, could that be like a gift that could there be something like running the family? If I don't know if you ever knew it about Granny, but she would know things. She would have dreams. She could tell you when she would get warnings, and she knew when something bad was going to happen. And when she said something bad, you know, you could count on it. It would happen. Well, the night that Uncle Ken's platoon was blown up, it was on his birthday, and she said she was laying in bed, and she said his face appeared over her bed in like a halo around it, and she knew that he was in danger, so she got out of bed and started praying. She called Mama and Papa to pray, and they all bound together and prayed. All right. Like 2 days later, they hear the news. His whole platoon was blown to smithereens, and he and one other guy are the only survivors.
Wow. See, I never knew that.
Oh, my granny was amazing.
I never knew that.